Okay, I was actually calling you that if you are available now, can you please?
Yes, I'm
Say a
trusting
few
God.
words.
I'm trusting God and the elements to allow me to quickly chip in and to again on our behalf thank our two erudite and enterprising resource persons for today.
Okay, after you
And thank
speak,
Mr.
we will
Ibrahim
go.
for actually putting into perspective the salient points of this presentation. I want to come from the point of mentioning the relevance of this kind of thing that we are doing. Challenges are almost common that are between the two presentations that we have seen and we have had here today. One of the things that I quickly, before I make the further comments, one of the things that I quickly see that Mr. Macaulay talked about was we had HAD, a similar scheme in Nigeria. I am thinking that it is time for us to start advocating for the return of export processing factories. I'm sure Dr. Bolujoko will remember that as export manager at Stanmark, by the grace of God, I was able to get Stanmark Cocoa up to an export processing factory status before the customs service removed that scheme and merged it with everything, and it couldn't just be there. As an export processing factory, you are able to get other advantages like zero import at zero duty for all the raw materials and equipment that are coming out, and that actually forces the company to produce specifically for export. Before you are given the export processing factory status, it must be certified that at least 75% of your finished products are going directly to the export market. I believe that in this era, now that Naira is falling like a rolling stone that is not gathering any moss, I believe that now is the time for us to actually begin to go back and think of, okay, let us do specific production, export specific production. Thank you for raising that point. I have also seen that the market penetration challenges are common to both of you. I remember the first time that Dr. Bolujoko, I took samples of mustard tea to Canada, I took to Costco, and the first thing when they were trying to get registered and accredited for the Canadian market, I remember, sir, the person that we contacted, the kind of, I don't know, exorbitant fee that was to be charged just to get. And I know that with Mr. Macaulay, we are already considering other options and alternatives right now. So there is a cost to export market penetration. And I'm glad that the current CEO of the Nigeria Export Promotion Council, by his personal passion and by his position, is committed and has committed himself to broaching all the challenges that exporters are facing. And I believe that these costs, all these costs that are coming up, must form part of the reason why we need government to actually expand and take serious its investment in the Export Development Fund. Now, NEPC has gone out of its way. I'm conscious, aware that they don't have a budget subhead, for example, for all the certifications that they are doing now. But that is thinking out of the box, that is creatively bringing solutions to help exporters to actually begin to pay for registrations and certifications. I think that these are points that exporters can take to government and that are cogent enough to elicit immediate solutions. I wish the Central Bank of Nigeria will put its money where its mouth is. So rather than saying that they are giving you 65 naira for an export dollar that you earn from a difference of close to 400 naira, official export, exchange rate is 430. Naira is about 730 right now. So if you give me 65 Naira plus 435, why would I want to come to the central bank through the official channels? So I want to thank you guys again. Walmart, Amazon obviously call up the issue of aggregation of quantity and quality that must be respected. Putting your products on the shelf in Costco, you will have to pay 1,000 Canadian dollars per product per month until that response that will convince them that this is a product that the consumers want before they can place a trial order. But that's the first challenge. The bigger challenge now comes because I have seen the products of both of you. I have seen Crystal toothpaste. I have seen and taken Master Tea in all the different flavors to Canada. And I am aware that if, and I pray that it does happen, that your product gets that kind of acceptance, then you are going to need to work 10 times as hard as you are working now. You are going to need to expand your factories because they're not going to ask you for 10 containers. In Toronto, Greater Toronto area alone, there are about 350 Walmart outlets. And if it is on the shelf in one, it must be on the shelf of every other one. So imagine the very humongous quantities that are going to be ordered by these supermarket chains. These are points, they are figures, they are verifiable that we can use to mobilize an advocacy for the enhancement of the Export Development Fund so that, like Mr. Macaulay proposed, we can actually, as manufacturer exporters, begin to go to NEPC and say, okay, I have taken contact, my product has passed the quality expectations of Amazon, of Walmart. I need your support to put these products on the shelves so that they can be ordered. So I pause here for now. Again, thanks to both of you. This is supposed to be an educative forum, and this is the reason why I said whoever lives here without getting, being at least almost ready to export, I don't know again. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's get ready for the final segment, which will be the questions and answers session, okay? Last segment.
This webinar is brought to you by Token Trade and Investment Global Tax Week. We are live on Facebook at Export Digest. Kindly follow our Facebook page. Also, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Twitter at Export Digest TV.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. So now I'm going to bring back Emmanuel Macaulay. Please unmute Emmanuel Macaulay. Now let's go to the questions. I see some hands up and I see some questions typed. Johnny Semede. So happy to see you again. Thank you. Please unmute yourself. Can you please unmute him?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you, participants.
Jean, are you there?
Oui, je suis. Oui, je suis ici.
Okay,
Ça va?
allez-y.
Oui.
Comment vous parlez français aussi?
Moi, je parle bien dans le français. Je fais ma maîtrise à Paris.
Ah, okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Yes, it may be morning over there, but according to my own time zone in Nigeria, it is evening. Take it like that.
Okay, 1 minute.
Yes. Thank you very much. We have been in this struggle, Boyede and myself, and the few people are joining. To export is as easy as ABCD. When we started export, there was nothing like telephone, email, and all that. we were able to move across West Africa because there was a research done before we jump into the market. The truth of the matter is that business of import and export start with the local perspective. What do you have that you have to add value? A lot of people think that export is an extension of local trade. Which structure do you have at home? Which institution do you have training people? Even the agencies you have, they cause more confusion. You cannot determine quality for what the other man. Because export or business is like a relay from one level to the other. We were able to move. I worked for Unilever for 10 years, and I was able to do this job. From Unilever, I went to Cowbell. The export warehouse or the manufacturer in Bond in Cowbell was registered for me by Boyede. We have a lot to share with people. It's not just 1 minute. Finally, I developed export for Dangote. So there are a lot of Nigeria experts. Finally, what we are saying is that let us now begin to hold donor agencies. They come, they don't help us. They come to laugh and smile and cause more confusion. You don't train people without giving them the capacity, money, and implement. There's no point where you gather people, women, SME in 5-star hotel, you are developing export. After wasting money, 4 or 5 days, they go. We return back. Please. And I have disciples all over the place. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Isemide. As usual, you are a champion. We appreciate you always. Bosun Solari, please unmute Bosun. Bosun.
Yes, good evening, ma'am. Thank you. This is Bosun Solari again. Good evening, Dr. Bolujoko, Mr. Macaulay. Sorry, the other man, I don't know your name. Mr. Olufemi Boyede, good evening, everyone. Mine is a kind of, should I call it a fear, a phobia, or what, for what has been said? And I'm coming at the backdrop of Mr. Boyede's last statement before I come to Dr. Isemide. Now, he wants to take Master T to Canada, and he's saying if he passes the test and Walmart asks for it, so he will need to expand. As a marketer, I studied marketing. That can boomerang. Because if the orders come and the factories have not been expanded, so for me, and like Dr. Isemide just talked now, you work with Unilever and all those big ones. They came fully prepared. We are in Nigeria where there is no much assistance. Let us first develop, see how, because Master T is now almost in how many countries? South Africa, Europe, what in US. And then we are going to go and swallow Canada with how many outlets of Walmart? Will they be able to fulfill the orders when it comes? So I am thinking, Dr. Bolujoko, you are listening. I beg, expand first before you begin to, because once one cannot meet up the orders, then it gives one a terrible review and a bad name. So, and then Dr. Isemide, please, as much as I enjoy you when you're talking, you know our situation in Nigeria. So like wanting to liken what we do with the likes of when you work with Unilever and Co, that is not where we are, because there are people listening here that must develop. So thank you so much. Thank you, Sha. Let me stop.
Thank you so very much. We are going to go to the questions now, and we have many of them. So that means, okay, Bukola Okay is the last speaker for now. Bukola Okay, can you please unmute yourself? Unmute Bukola Okay. Is it okay or okay?
Okay.
You have the floor, please. 1 minute.
Yeah. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for this medium. Thank you, Leke. Thank you, Mr. Olufemi Boyede. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Mr. Macaulay, and every participant. Amami Bosun. Thank you too. My own is this. We need to do something, and I think it is urgent now. We are talking about certification over there. When we have got all these certifications that they said is required, we are talking about ANA, you're talking about FDA, you're talking about ISO 22000, then those Walmart or other things are still requiring other certification. I don't get it. Seriously, I don't get it. I think that it's supposed to be a one line stream so that it will be easier for exporters. We must know where we are going to. Just like Mommy Bosun said, everything has to be on ground. Let us know what is required. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for keeping to time. That's really wonderful.
Thanks so much. Lady K, if you don't mind, let me quickly respond to that. The journey of 1,000 miles, I think they say, begins with a step. And it is a perfectionist who waits until everything is ready. I lived in Ikorodu at the time when India first started to ship Skoda cars to Nigeria. And on the third mainland bridge, you could be sure that at least 3 Skoda cars got burnt every week. So India didn't go back and stop producing until the day that their researchers came out with the perfect car. So it is a dynamic process. As the first time that I took Master T samples with me to Canada, the difference between those cartons and the Master T brand that Dr. Bolujoko presented here today is almost like 10,000 miles. So it's a matter of systematic and progressive development and improvement. So I would try to not discourage people who are expending their energy to continue to explore the ways of making it better and making things better so that when it comes, they are ready. Now, I was privileged to be the consultant to the Presidential Committee on Revival of Nigeria's Textile Industry under the administration of Olusegun Obasanjo. When you hear 100 billion naira textile intervention fund, it was our report that generated that interest of the federal government.
Okay.
The mistake was the federal government, rather than pump in the expected intervention into existing but dying companies who were supposed to be going all over the country to be looking for land that was big enough for us to establish garment producing centers like Bangladesh. They were asking us to come and model after Pakistan and Bangladesh so that we can produce and take to the AGOA market. If we did that, and of course, they expended the energy there rather than the immediate low-hanging fruit. So, sir, I like and I appreciate your very constructive contribution, but I am of the opinion that market development, product development, and economic development as a whole should be a continuous process. And I want to also ask, respond to Lady Bosun Sholari. I'm very, very sure that if a Crystal toothpaste or a Master T Moringa generated an order from the Central Bank of Nigeria that will ensure that in the next 6 months, through Master T, Nigeria will be able to generate $200 million of export sale. I'm very, very sure that the Central Bank of Nigeria will want to pick up his phone and call that person to a negotiation table to say, how can we help you to meet this order? I know because I have been there before, and I believe that this must be ways. And what we are doing here, talking about it and actually coming up with this kind of solutions that look so simple that they are practicable, will definitely generate the required interest.
I really appreciate this, your contribution. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Like I said earlier, we have many questions. So Please, the panelists, if I'm jumping in, kindly pardon me. It's because we have so many questions. I see one by Isemide, he already spoke. So I will scroll down for another person. Those of you with your hands up, I can see you. Olabi, I can see you. Was that Olabi that just spoke? So if somebody has another comment here, it said in 65K to USD is not backed by law. All incentive from 1978 to 2022 under trade NEPC backed by law. Dr. Bolujoko, please, we have to Joko. We can see you starting now. So please, Joko.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Omolara Akonji said, thank you so much, Dr. Bolujoko, for your insight. You mentioned that the CBN has not done enough. Will you please indicate what are necessary things that must be done? Export trade is what will address the foreign exchange in availability and thus driving supply shortage with this inadvertent naira depreciation. Thank you for your excellent service in the sector.
Well, thank you very much.
I've
had opportunity. Yes, I've had opportunity to listen to the presentation from Central Bank itself, and also when the Zenith Bank was presenting, also I was there. And I want to say that the arithmetic doesn't help the situation at hand. If you are saying, okay, we give you a 65 naira on top of the dollar, then the dollar is 420, take for example, and then you are adding 65 naira to it. You have to compare that with who's bringing the money in and is getting 700 or thereabout in the black market. There must be something that we must be looking at seeing how the black market and the exporter will not feel as if, okay, if I do it this way, I will be cheated. I think that's the one thing that I really want to say. But secondly, if, take for example, the central bank comes with a proposal that says, okay, if you're exporting, and this is the support we are going to give to you specifically for this income that you are bringing in, outside of this 65 naira, if you are ready to expand, we are going to do this for you and all that and all that. Those are the things that people want to hear. If you notice that the central bank has issued a statement that says that every investment that they have given at 5% is now going back to 9% and so on and so forth. These are all things that you have to look at and see how you can actually encourage local manufacture. There are specific things also that we need to do. I will give you an example that in the tea business, if you go into the supermarket, you're going to see lots and lots of tea that is coming into Nigeria from China, from India, from I've been to China a number of times. I don't see a Nigerian tea in China. I don't see British tea in China. No. I think that we have to look at how to ensure that the local industry is protected to an extent. And also encourage those people that are importing to say, okay, why don't we support you to be able to start local manufacture? I think that's it. I mentioned in my presentation that Nigeria has the wherewithal, the land, the weather, everything that it takes to be the #1 tea producer in Nigeria, black tea producer in Nigeria, in Africa, sorry. But we're not, because there is no incentive. There is nothing that government is doing. There's nobody in government that is thinking that, okay, we could be #1 in this, we could be #1 in that. We could, what will we need to be able to move forward with local manufacture? Local manufacture is so important, and we must look at what exactly we need to do to encourage it.
Okay. And the next question is from Olushola Adigbeson. Says, sir, what percentage would you recommend as upfront commitment fee? Anyone can
Now, we as I said, we are just looking at this because what we are looking at is if you are having an export that is about, let's say, $120,000. The person that is importing from you must be able to put down something that says that, okay, take for example, $2,000, $3,000 to say, okay, this is a commitment fee. I have a commitment to this export that I'm ordering from you. And it is very important for us to be able to see how importers for Nigerian products are making commitment to what they want to do. Basically, these are the things that we're looking at and thinking about and ensuring that we put them in the contracts that we have now.
Okay, thank you. Rotimi Oludele says, please, you can add me to WhatsApp group for future communication. We're operating a dry port in Kaduna, where we have facility for exporting your goods from the internet, northwest of Nigeria, direct to foreign port of destination via Nigerian seaports. Sheyi, can you please take note of that? And okay, I'm scrolling down to see Omolara Konji says, did you walk through our embassies? I think you should explore that angle. You have a comment on that?
Yes, I think that we had an exhibition in Ireland in which the embassy was active, NEPC was active. Actually, our embassy should be the #1 agency that is looking at how exports from Nigeria should actually evolve and develop. We were at Cote d'Ivoire, and we had a Made in Nigeria exhibition in Cote d'Ivoire about a month ago. And we were very happy with the way in which the ambassador was very much interested in what needed to be done. In fact, we are signing an agreement with a company in Cote d'Ivoire for distribution of products in Cote d'Ivoire. And the ambassador was so much keen on ensuring that this happens. And they have even called us to say how far with this agreement. And so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. So we cannot use the same broomstick for every embassy, but I think that every embassy should be doing what these good ones are doing.
Okay, thank you. Johnny Semede again says, thank you, Emmanuel Macaulay. Asians get support from Exim banks at home to push out with incentives. We have the Chinatown concept here. So what do we have outside? What are we getting from our ambassadors, diaspora on trade? However, the MDA are roadblocks. Talk shows causing rejections. Please call me after the program. Was in soap export between 1990 in Unilever before the ECOWAS. 1 second. Before the ECOWAS, ETLS, and to 2000. It is as easy as a bit. Okay, so he wants you to call after. That's what I get from this.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to the next question.
Please share your contact, please.
This person says, Jane Omojoku. Thank you, Mr. Macaulay, for the practical presentations and sharing your experience. I like your approach of launching out to Walmart and the lessons learned. Well done. Thank you for sharing your experience, Macaulay. Brenda Abadi. Mr. Rotimi, you did not leave your contact details. Okay. Okay, I'm still scrolling down to see if there's any more questions. When next is the meeting on Zoom? Rotimi Oludele. We do this every first Saturday of the month, except the first Saturday of January, I believe. That's when we are still eating our chicken. Okay. Omolara Konji, I think you spoke already. Is this another question? I believe Omolara spoke. In addition, we must encourage CBN to do more in terms of researching into other central banks. Okay. And Usunsulari is clapping. Mr. Abiodun Jayi, if you can't hear, log out and come in again. Okay. So I'm still scrolling down. The team, if you can equally jump in, it will be good for us to save time. Okay, John has something to say. He said, we are mixing things up in Nigeria. Going back to the report of the Colonial Committee of the 1950s. This is interesting. Emote report. That set of the CBN in 1959 is clear. Is clear three main functions, not running on all lanes. The major job is the monetary policy, not on export matters or incentives. Okay, that makes sense. Embassy is the #1 marketing manager of all nations, with targets from home going to Vienna Convention of 1963. Okay, so these are what I have. Johnny Semede, your hand is still up. You still want to ask a question or contribute? And if there's any other person that wants to say anything, please, this is the time to raise up your hand before our panelists and the guest speaker, before we allow them to rest for the day. Femi Boyede, are you still there? Okay, I can see you are back now. Okay, Johnny Semede, do you want to say something? You have 1 minute.
Yes. Yes, thank you. I have 1 minute.
Yes.
The truth of the story is that some of us, Boyede and myself, we develop ourselves. It's not Unilever. Unilever came to Nigeria in 1923. I joined Unilever in 1988. The first thing was to send me to about 20 countries, and I was forced to learn French. So the truth of the matter is that we are not investing on human capital development. Today, we are talking of ECOWAS ETLS, which has rocketed only 5%. Then if you talk the Africa Continental Free Trade, I started that in 1990. I traveled around the continent of Africa by road. It's not a matter of because I work in Dangote. If I'm not good in labor, brother, a cowboy could have not moved me over. And if I did not do well in Dangote, there was no way. Today, we are all over the place. That was my work, and I'm proud of it. We are not investing. We are not carrying out research. There is no data to work with. Even the books I wrote on export today is used by Oxford University, Michigan, and others. When you give it to Nigeria and say, just tell me where to sell. Why would they not seize your trucks at the border? For the number of years I moved trucks from here to Burkina Faso and others, which one did they seize? Even at the port, is it configured to do export? Our MDAs, do they know what they are doing? Do they have target? Is it people like me they want to teach? They should go to primary and secondary school and see what is happening in Kenya, Southeast Asia, Brazil, and all that. Export is a culture, but here, import is the culture. So we are not moving. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for your contribution always. And I'm bringing in Emmanuel. I can see your last name, Emmanuel Awoniyi. Please unmute Emmanuel. Unmute Emmanuel Awoniyi, please. Sheyu, are you there?
Maybe Emmanuel Awoniyi should unmute himself.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good
Please
evening.
go ahead. We can hear you. You have 1 minute.
Okay, sorry, I want to thank the organizer of this, so enlightening, and I really gained so much this evening. What I want to ask is, I don't know if there is any platform in order to mentor the young ones on exports. So that's my question. Thank you.
Well, this is a very wonderful question. I'm going to take the next question so they can answer at the same time. Thank you so very much. I may not pronounce your name well. Samson Edeki. Please unmute Samson Edeki.
Hello, good evening.
We can hear you clearly. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for having me. I just want to raise some issues. I think we are into honey production. So for the few years we've started, I've seen this company running after us for equipment. So they recommending shipping agent from Nigeria. So the thing looks very easy. You see more than one company selling a product. So it's very obvious from their own, from every indication that these are being, they know the whole nitty-gritty of moving it from their country to another country. So I think in this kind of seminar, if we can bring in all stakeholders in moving a product from one country to another, like shipping agent and the rest, so that they will also give perspective, I think that would be fine. So that subsequent meeting, we can get shipping agents and let them tell us what it takes to move product from one country to another. The application with the product move from Nigeria to other country, product that are not even sold by ISO and the rest. So I think to hear from those perspectives. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Can you please unmute Emmanuel Awoni? Emmanuel Awoni, you still want to say something or you forgot to lower your hand? Unmute him. Unmute yourself, Emmanuel Awoni, please. So we can take the...
Sorry about that. I'm okay. It's just a mistake, please.
Okay, thank you so very much. Okay, so you have the floor, Dr. Bolujoko and Emmanuel Macaulay. And Olufemi Boyede, you can answer.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that a seminar like this, a webinar like this, it's a very good training ground. The young shall grow, but the young needs to learn and to understand. And I think that we have a lot of opportunities for young people, new people to be able to learn from things that Talking Trade and Investment Global webinars are doing. I think that that's what I want to say, that there is a need for knowledge to be able to do export. And I mean, when I was in Cadbury, actually, it was so much in technical that I didn't have any knowledge at all about export. And I had to spend money and time to go and learn. And learning is very important. You continuously learn, online learning, webinar learning, and everything, of all the opportunities. I think that that's very important. Thank you very much.
Okay, Emmanuel has something to say.
Mr. Macaulay?
Yes, I'm here.
You have any comments?
Well, in response to the person that said something on CBN or the question that was raised on regarding whether the 65K offered by CBN is attractive or not. You see, for those of us that import raw materials, we don't have any issues if the CBN provides the forex at the official rate to import raw materials. And okay, fine. If we export, we'll have enough reason to say, okay, fine, whatever we get from them, but not sourcing our own forex at whatever rates through other means. Then you expect us to, with the export proceeds, and you want to give it to, we want it delivered to you at the official rate. It is unreal. It's unreal. I think, with due respect, CBN is just joking. Nobody in his right sense will do it. And on the issue of export, with due respect to Mr. Semede, in recent times, our experience, we check with the neighboring countries. The neighboring countries are not happy with Nigeria. And whether you have ETLS or not, one of the countries that is not ready to listen to you, anything coming from Nigeria is a finished product, whether it's going to Ghana, it's going to Togo, it's going to another country. For it to pass their country, they will not only ask you to pay transit charges, they want you to pay the duty. That's it. They are saying, the government is saying, Nigeria unilaterally shut international borders. And as a result, without consultation, and for that, they did not respect the ECOWAS agreement. Therefore, they too are not ready to respect. Whether you have ETLS or you have your products registered, they don't want to. You pay duty and inclusive of the transit charges, and you pay. So it makes it difficult for one to export by road. For somebody was asking a question about going by road. So the only option you have for now is by sea, except that diplomatic impasse is resolved. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. We are getting to the end of this program for all of you that have been there faithfully with us. Thank you so much. Emmanuel Boyede, you have comments or any other comment before we round up for today? Emmanuel Boyede, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. And again, just a few interjections here and there. I like the use of the word joker. I think if we are looking for the biggest joker right now, it must be the Central Bank of Nigeria. Okay, imagine you bought heifers. I'm using an example of something that I headed when I was a special advisor to the government of Ekiti State. We imported cows, fatted cows from South Africa with the intention of producing milk to do import substitution. So we got our off-taker, Friesland Campina, whatever comes out of the dairy farm we will take. So imagine we were not feeding the cows. We just brought them and dumped them in the farm and let them go and graze, and then you think we will produce any milk from those cows that is worth selling in the local market? The Central Bank of Nigeria does not care about the challenges of exporting outside Nigeria, but is daily waiting, making a budget of how much the export sector will deliver to them. So they come up with FX, RT, $200 billion FX. Where's it going to come from? From the same exporters that you are asking to go and source foreign exchange, to even pay shipping charges. You want them to source foreign exchange from other sources, and then you are coming out with a policy that is going to compel them, when they have sourced foreign exchange and they have braved all the odds, then you now say, you must bring your forex here. I put it to everybody who will care to listen. I stand to be challenged. Whatever figure is being recorded as Nigeria's export performance right now, there is 90% that is not being captured officially, because now is the time for the free funds market, and everybody is doing everything to sidetrack export procedures and documentations in order to be able to leverage on the fruit of their sweat. And I think that the government does not have a moral justification to ask you to come and work. And a standing example, again, going back to the textile sector, President Obasanjo signed an agreement with the presidential seal under his signature with Nigeria's textile sector, and said, until the end of my administration, if you guys can bring in $2 billion of forex proceeds, this government will give you export expansion grant of 40%. I have a copy of that agreement. But we now have a system where the central bank arrogates to itself. That's part of the points that John Iseme made. in his chat, in the chat box. We now have a government where the one with the legal jurisdiction for the development of policy in Nigeria, export policy, that is the Nigeria Export Promotion Council, is completely sidetracked, ignored, and underrated by the central bank, who does not have any moral responsibility or administrative, what do they call it, oversight to develop policy. They are the ones churning out policies that govern exporting out of Nigeria. For real? Okay, let me leave that part. We talked on Talking Trade platform about 4 or 5 months ago, when the executive director of the NEPC was our guest speaker. The need for economic diplomacy. Economic diplomacy is all about shuttling and collaborating, first from Nigeria, and then there. I just came back. I'm sure those on the Talking Trade platform would have followed for like 1 week. Just last week, the whole of last week, I was in the Gambia. Now, between them, SMEDAN and NEPC want to support Nigeria MSMEs to penetrate the Gambian market and use it as a hub for West and Central Africa.
Okay.
Every single step that we took there was facilitated by the Nigeria High Commission, and because the Nigeria High Commission under
Hello. Looks like it's network again.
Understood what our mission was very excitedly, and are now put all hands on deck and putting all this in. So government must understand, and I think that's one of the earlier questions raised today. The issue of certification. Somebody was asking Dr. Bolujoko why or whether it is practical to have all those 10 certifications. Very good question. Because if Nigeria's NAFDAC, and I've made this point on this platform before, if Nigeria's NAFDAC will develop one standard for every product that is being exported, and will share this with its sister agencies across the world, and can then make it as the prerequisite quality for you to be able to take that particular product out of Nigeria, I am very sure that, number one, rejection will be reduced, because everybody would have complied with not just the quality, but the packaging and the labeling standards and everything. But we're not doing it. Why? Because we do not have a vibrant public-private partnership, and even the public-public partnership itself is weak.
1 more minute, Femi Boyede.
And that's the reason why we're where we are. And I want to believe, like I said, that the challenge is for us to continue to brainstorm and find, because even if we talk from here till tomorrow, we don't have the legal or administrative power to alter policy. But we do have the strength between us to develop cogent arguments that will form the fulcrum of advocacy that will take Nigeria's export to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. You are truly appreciated. And please, do we have final remarks? 1 minute speech. Dr. Bolujoko, you want to go?
Well, the final remark is the fact that I think that we have, we thank God that everywhere we go to, open doors are there for us. And whatever it is, and I want to say that government agencies like NEPC are doing a lot, and we ought to encourage agencies like that. We ought to encourage them to do more. They have supported us quite a lot, and we thank God for people like that. Thank you all very much, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to share our experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Emmanuel Macaulay, you want to unmute yourself and say a last word? 1 minute. We don't have you on video.
Well, my take, I would say that the government should really put the necessary machinery in place to support exporters. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. We really appreciate you today. And yes, every month we come to you with this program. There are some people behind the scene working day and night for this program to be successful. I want to acknowledge them. I want to thank them all. Yeah, and you know we are live on Facebook as well, so you can also go and check us later on Facebook. The playbook will be ready soon. The video recording will be ready. And if you have not joined us on WhatsApp group, please do so. We have a very robustically interactive. Which other adjective can I use? And WhatsApp group, where you will see us all the time. And actually, to give the last response to Emmanuel Macaulay, you said apologies to women, that women like beautiful things, the way things are packaged. Come on, what do you expect from women? We are the ones that make life. So we love beautiful things. Of course.
Turkey trade beams out of so many countries. Canada, the UK, Sweden, West Africa, and here we are. I think that we are really, really global. Thanks so much, great team.